Hi all. In this video, we'll look at using some of the functionality of Excel to determine a final grade in a hypothetical class. As you can already see, I've already put some information in a spreadsheet. In this hypothetical class, there are 3 exams, homework, and a final. The 3 exams count as 15% of your final grade, the homework 20%, the final 30%. And the student in this example got an 85, 80, and 88 on the exams, 95 on the homework, and has a final grade of 72, or a grade on the final of 72. To determine the grade the student would have in the class, we need to look at the amount each of the parts of the grade count toward the final. So for instance, exam 1 counted as 15% and they made an 85. So we needed to take that 15% times 85. Using Excel, I'll want to have this as equal B3 times C3. Hitting enter, we're going to see that that exam 1 score counted as 12.75 points toward the final grade. That is, if the student took exam 1 and did nothing else, their final grade in the class would have been a 12.75. Now, I want to do a similar thing for each of the other grades in the class, and to do this, what I need to do is either type in those formulas or use some of the functionality of Excel to help me with that. And that's what I'll do. What I'm going to end up doing is copying and pasting what I have in cell D3 and to D4. To do that, I'm going to right-click, select Copy, and then in D4, right-click and select Paste. I could also have done this by using Control-C and then Control-V. Alright, now let's look carefully at what just happened. Once I copy and pasted that cell, it did not actually copy and paste the exact contents of what were in D3. Remember, D3 had in it equals B3 times C3. When I copy and pasted it into D4, it now reads equals B4 times C4. What's going on with this, and it's called using a dynamic cell reference, is that Excel thinks since we went down a row in column D, that I wanted to move down each of the other rows in columns B and C, where I was using those formulas. It knew, in a sense, what I meant to do. If I copy and paste again, let's hit Control-C and then Control-V, I see that it continues doing this all the way down. Control-C, Control-V, and the appropriate formulas are now in each of the cells D3 through D7. Alright, so I've figured out how much each of the grades counts toward the final grade. Now I want to add all of those up. Alright, to do that, I'm going to make use of the sum function in Excel. So I'm going to type equals, then go to the Formulas tab up here, select the Math and Trig functions, and scroll down to Sum. As I do this, you should notice there's lots of other functions in Excel, and it's always fun to play around with those. Clicking on Sum, this is going to bring up a little window that gives me some instructions on using this. But what the Sum function is going to require of me is that I select the cells that I want to add up. I'm going to add up D3 through D7. All functions in Excel, formulas in Excel, follow this basic construct. They need an equal sign, the name of the function, an open parentheses, whatever inputs that particular function needs, and a close parentheses. When I hit OK, I'm going to see that these grades add up to 78.55. If you know what the function is and how it works, you can just type that in. So if I'd actually just typed equals some open parentheses D3 through D7, D3 rather, colon D7, close parentheses, enter, I get the result I want. Alright, last thing we're going to look at in this video is using Excel to try to help us solve problems with the goal-seek functionality. Suppose in this example I wanted to know what the student needed on the final to get an 82 in the course. That is, I want to have cell D8, the sum of those grades, equal 82, and I want to do this by changing C7. Well, I can do this by guessing and checking. So I can say, well, 72 is too low. Let's try 80 on the final. That's still too low. 84, oh, just a little too high. How about 83.5? Well, that looks like it works. That would certainly work. So guessing and checking worked in this example. When we started with 72, let me put that back there. Well, another thing that could work is to solve this algebraically. We're not going to do that in this example. Or I can use the goal-seek functionality in Excel. So again, I want to change cell D8 to 82. by altering cell C7. So I'm going to hit this Data tab, go over to What If Analysis, click on Goal Seek. Goal Seek requires three things of us. What cell I want to change, in this instance D8, and that was already selected. I want to change that to the value 82, and I want to do that by changing cell C7. Alright. Clicking on this, I can now hit OK, and Excel will much more quickly do what we just did and guess and check until it gets to this value of 83.5 as the grade needed on the final. To review, in this assignment we looked at using dynamic cell references briefly to determine final grades, and using the function sum, and using the goal seek functionality. Bye for now. Have fun Excel.